I think the most important thing about the Battle of Shiloh is that it is the first big battle of the Civil War. You know, we'll have other Shilohs come along after this, just with different names, Antietam, Chickamauga, Gettysburg. But you have to remember, this is the first one of this kind. Americans don't know anything like this. There are more casualties here than there are men in armies in the Revolution or the War of 1812. Shiloh, although it's not on the Mississippi River itself, is still the largest battle that is fought in the Mississippi Valley campaign. The Union forces will reach here by mid-March of 1862 after their victories at Forts Henry and Donelson. The Confederates are concentrating 22 miles to our southwest at Corinth, Mississippi, which is the crossing point of two major Confederate railroads, the Memphis and Charleston and the Mobile and Ohio. They have to defend these major railroads in order to defend the Mississippi Valley. It is for that reason that they will march northward in early April to destroy Grant's army here before Buell's army of the Ohio arrives. The first shots of the Battle of Shiloh occur at about daylight on the morning of April 6, 1862 in what's called Fraley Field. Essentially, the Confederates will move forward and begin to batter the Union camps, sustaining heavy casualties, including their commander, Albert Sidney Johnston. Eventually, they will drive those Union forces back in three major successive lines of defense into an enclave around Pittsburgh Landing and Snake Creek Bridge. But Grant has the upper hand at this point. He has traded space for time all day long, knowing that if he can reach nightfall, he has the battle essentially won, because he'll get reinforcements in the form of Lew Wallace's division as well as Don Carlos Buell's Army of the Ohio. So Grant makes the decision, the key decision here at Shiloh, to stay and fight. To me, that's where he wins the victory, and the second day then becomes that much more important, because that determines what level of victory, how big a victory Shiloh would become. The Union forces are on the offensive on the second day, pushing out from their enclave around Pittsburgh Landing, Snake Creek Bridge, driving the Confederates back all day long in these successive lines of defense that the Confederates take up, much like the Federals had the day before. The bulk of the fighting on the second day will occur right here on the same areas where the bulk of the fighting occurred on the first day: the Hornet's Nest, the Peach Orchard, the Crossroads. Eventually, they will push the Confederates off the battlefield. Beauregard, who has replaced the now deceased Johnston, will call a retreat, a withdrawal, and they will march back to Corinth for operations that will soon commence against Corinth, Mississippi. Shiloh plays a major role in Ulysses S. Grant's career. Shiloh is not the crowning achievement by any means. In fact, he is in the doghouse as a result of Shiloh, both from his commander, Henry W. Halleck, as well as the public. These rumors get started that Grant was drunk at Shiloh and all of that, and he really comes under a cloud because of this, but he perseveres. That dogged determination that we see in Ulysses S. Grant, he perseveres, and eventually Shiloh becomes a badge of honor for Grant in his advancement in the career that ultimately would take him to Vicksburg, Chattanooga, and eventually to the Virginia campaigns, and eventually to the White House.